Monique is joyful. Monique is joyful. Welcome to Monique is joyful. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Hello, welcome back. My name is Monique, and if this is your first time watching me today, hello. And if you're part of the joyous ones, my joyous ones, that's my name for you guys who subscribe. Thank you for coming back to my channel, Monique is Joyful. And what I want to do today is to continue with my conversation with you about self-love and how your relationship with God, your personal relationship with God, will help you learn how to love yourself, and how I came to learn this for myself. And okay, what I wanted to continue on with is that I was in a abusive relationship when I was young. When I was it wasn't abusive until after I had my son. So I think the person which I said I will call Danny thought that, oh, she's gonna just be stuck with me so I can just pretty much treat her however I want to, you know what I mean, as far as in just basically trying to break down my self-esteem. Like, it wasn't an everyday thing, but I noticed, like, when you look back and you're older, or once you wise up and you look at your situation, and you realize that a person was just trying to break your self-esteem down if you let them, or if you would, if I had have stayed in that situation, I probably would have no self-esteem right now, because first of all, I wouldn't have been doing what I should have been doing, and I wasn't doing what I should have been doing in the first place, even to be in that situation, and what I want to say is that I grew a lot from that situation early. It took, and let me give you an example of the things that would happen. I had to write some notes down because it's a lot, and I don't want to keep saying the same thing. So I was disrespected verbally at times, like, you're stupid, or you're basically trying to make me feel like nobody else would want to be with me because, oh, you got a child now. Don't nobody want to be with someone with a child, and I'm talking to whoever needs to hear this today, because it's plenty of men and women that get with someone that they know is nice, and they know that they're not about anything, and they try to control that person. They are disrespectful towards that person, and they try to break your self-esteem down. And honestly, it worked. It worked for a little while. Like, I never felt like I was nothing at all. You know what I mean? Like, I knew I had some value. But if you truly love yourself, there's certain things that once you can't control what a person does, but once you see that that's what they're about, you will quickly walk away. Baby or no baby, babies or no baby. That's why it's so important, young ladies, young men, please be careful who you lay with. Take your time, or at least, if you can't take your time, protect yourself, because just like you have crazy guys out here that are abusive, you have women that are just the same. I can't act like it's just a one-sided thing all the time, because I know better. It's women who use their children as pawns. I mean, it's a whole lot that goes on with that, and like I tell my sons, like, look deep before you leap. My youngest son is not even old enough to date, but that's what I would tell him, and that's what I will that's what I already have told him. But and I'm gonna continue that conversation because it's so important. Because, like, my situation that I was in when I was young, like, I would have never, like, the year before any of this even happened, or I would have never imagined me to be dating anybody that I would one day end up having to, you know, physically, well, that would actually physically put their hands on my neck and choke me, you know, because that's what happened eventually, you know. And I'm trying to look over at this camera, but the light is kind of in my eye. So, you know, it was a lot, you know, and I know how God has changed me, because there was a time where I just was really sad inside. I was really sad. I felt stuck. Like I said before, I felt stuck. But you're not stuck in any situation. There's always a way out. And God could take any situation and take it from what you feel like was no way and give you so many doors to go through, and then close that door permanently. Because if you're in an abusive relationship, be it mentally abusive, you know, verbally abusive is mental abuse. Physical abuse, it's all the same to me, because to me, if a person can put their hands on you, and it's not like I was out here fighting like Ike and Tina, but the fact is, you shouldn't ever have to physically fight anybody that ever claimed that they ever cared about you, you know. And this happened to me years ago, and I'm just trying to give my testimony of what God has done for me in my life and open my eyes, and something that I thought was gonna be, I mean, I knew it would get better once I left that situation alone, because I was already low. Like, I couldn't get no lower as far as how I felt in dealing with that person more than half of the time. And anytime you feel like that, you need to let it go. I just want for people, young and old, men and women, you know, to open your eyes. Life is short, and don't waste it. Don't waste it on foolishness, you know. And what happened was, you know, when I was alone and by myself, you know, I would cry. I would feel sometimes hopeless, because I was young. You know, when I had my son, I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do right away, because I was trying to take care of him and being responsible for him. And I love my son, but honestly, if I could have had him when I was older, you know, I would have waited to have him. But because I got pregnant at a younger age, and I knew the possibilities of becoming pregnant when you have sex, and I knew all that before I did it, so I just stepped up and did what I had to do. And like I said, he is irreplaceable to me. But I wish that some of the things that I know that he even still remembers happening, because he was young when we broke up, but old enough to remember certain things, you know, and he could tell me this is what happened. Like, and some things happened after we was already broke up. That's how foolish this person was, you know. And I don't even really, I don't think of him as a father to D'Angelo. I think of him as a sperm donor. And I'm not trying to knock anybody, but it is what it is. To me, a father is somebody that shows up. A mother is somebody that shows up, that's there for their kids and do the best they can for their kids. And I wasn't one of those people that made it hard to do that. I know some people try to use their kids like pawns, and oh, because we're not together anymore, I'm gonna make it hard for you to be around your kids. And I think that's the worst thing that a person can do. If that mother or that father is good to that child, let that mother or father be good to that child, because eventually, when that child matures, they're gonna end up resenting the parent that kept them from their other parent for their own selfish reasons and wasn't thinking about their child. And God can change that too. It takes a lot of prayer. I've never been in that situation. Like, I'm okay with if you're not together, you know, like, even with everything that he had done, if he was a good dad to my son, then I would have, and I could trust him to take care of my son, I would have let him see him as much as he wanted to, you know. But when I know that my child ain't gonna be safe, and I don't know what's gonna happen when he around him, and then he's not even interested in being a parent in the first place, you know, because some people think that some men and women think that, okay, well, since we're not together anymore, now I don't have to do my parenting and do my part as a parent to this child. And that's not fair to the child. But me personally, I'm not gonna beg anybody to do what I'm gonna do either way, because I rather have, personally, I feel that it's better to have one whole parent than two broken ones trying to be together that's dysfunctional, and then you teaching that dysfunction to your children, and it's just being passed along if the child doesn't grow up and have enough sense and is touched by God where they could see, hey, this is not okay, and I'm not gonna live my life the way I saw my parents live my life, their life, I mean. And anyway, God got me through being disrespected, sometimes physically abused, you know what I mean? Not all the time, but it don't matter. One time is one time too many, you know? And that's another thing I'm trying to express to the young people that are not even dating yet. If a person ever put their hands on you, ever, I don't care if you got 2, 3, 4, 5 kids with that person, get away from that person. Because I see on the news and read in the papers every day how women and men both get killed by people that was supposed to care about them and that was supposed to love them. And I think sometimes that could have been me if it wasn't by the grace of God. If it weren't for the grace of God, you know, opening my eyes and getting me out of that situation and teaching me to love myself. And I would rather be alone for the rest of my life if that was the case, than to deal with some BS just to say that I'm with anybody. And that's just the truth. So I'm going to tell you today, please just know your worth. And God put you here for a reason, not to be anybody's verbal punching bag, their physical punching bag, not to be depressed, not to, everybody can feel sad and be disappointed about something. But when you trust God and you keep, even if you got to cry out to him and you don't understand what's going on at the time, and you never could see yourself in a situation that you found yourself in, he hears you. He hears you. Just hold on. God hears all of us, and he loves all of us. And I just am pleading with whoever needs to hear this today to please love yourself enough to know that life goes on. And trust me, it does. I know it does. You know, you might have some lonely nights, but at least you'll have peaceful nights. You may have some lonely days, but you'll never be alone. As long as you know that the Lord is with you, you'll never be alone. Even if you're physically alone, you'll never be lonely when you have the joy of the Lord in your heart. You know, because when I think about all that he has done for me, okay, my eyes get watery just when I think about it, because I could have been in jail. That's a story, you know what I mean? I did go to jail for something that I didn't even do, and I wasn't even, because of my son's sperm donor, honestly. You know what I mean? For somebody, because he lied on me. And that's another thing. And we wasn't even together at that time, guys. We weren't even together, hadn't been in any relationship for months. But he was mad because I told him and I meant it. That's it. I'm done. You know what I mean? And I was done for, like, we was broke up for like 5 months when that whole situation happened. But that's what I'm saying. A person can try to mess up your entire life if you let them. But they can't mess up your entire life if you trust God and leave them alone. Love God more than you love any human being, and he will show you what you need to see and get you into where you need to go. He will lead you where you need to go. And I just want to tell you guys that you are loved. God loves you. Your life is worth something. I don't care whatever you've done in your past. You are still valuable. You're still valuable, and you're still here. And you can make it. And please, if you got dead weight in your life, let it go and focus on your future. Focus on God. Focus on what you need to do to get your own life in order, so that whether you got multiple babies by one person, don't ever let anybody make you feel like you stuck. Because you're only stuck if you allow yourself to be. And that's all I want to say about learning how to love yourself, part 2 today. And if you like this conversation, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button and that subscribe button, because we're going to have way more real talks and we're going to have some fun times. But it's just in my heart, because I've worked with so many people and I've lived my life and know my own personal experiences and seen other people's experience, and it helped me also to avoid some things, because I have been through some rough times, but my great days highly outweigh any negative in my life. And I thank the Lord for that, because it's only by his grace that he got me out of that situation. I could have been, all messed up, and I'm gonna talk more about, how I got arrested for no good reason, all because of a lie, and how real it can get when you're dealing with someone that, or even, and we weren't even together. That's the crazy thing is, it's just crazy, But please hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, joyous ones, be safe, be blessed, and spread love, and God bless you.